that leads to destruction, and many there are who go in that way. Matthew 7:13. Hell has then different gates, but these gates stand on our earth. Her gates are sunk into the ground. Lamentations chapter 2, verse 9. These are the vices by which men offend God and draw down upon themselves chastisements and eternal death. Among the other vices, there are 4 which send most souls to hell, and on this earth bring upon men the scourges of God. And these 4 are hatred, blasphemy, theft, and impurity. Behold, the 4 gates by which the greater number of souls enter hell, and it is of these 4 that I mean to speak today, in order that you may amend and cure yourselves of these 4 vices. Otherwise, God will cure you of them, but by your own destruction. Hell's widest gate, impurity. We have now to speak of the 4th gate of hell, which is impurity, sexual sins. It is by this gate that the greater number of the damned enter. Some will say that it is a trifling sin. Is it a trifling sin? It is a mortal sin. Consider then how disgusting he must be to God, who like a dog is ever returning to his vomit, or wallowing like a pig in the stinking mire of this accursed vice. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 22. The impure say, moreover, God has compassion on us who are subject to this vice, because he knows that we are flesh. What do you say? God has compassion on this vice? But you must know that the most horrible chastisements with which God has ever visited the earth have been drawn down by this vice. St. Jerome says that this is the only sin of which we read that it caused God to repent of having made man. For all flesh had become corrupted. Genesis 6, verses 6 to 12. And so it is, St. Jerome says, that there is no sin which God punishes so rigorously, even upon earth, as this. He once sent fire from heaven upon 5 cities and consumed all their inhabitants for this sin. Sodom and Gomorrah, Genesis 18 to 19. Principally on account of this sin did God destroy mankind, with the exception of 8 persons by the flood. It is a sin which God punishes not only in the other life, but in this also. Because, says God, you have forgotten me and turned your back upon me for a miserable pleasure of the flesh. I am resolved that even in this life you shall pay the price of your wickedness. Ezekiel chapter 23, verse 35. You say, God has compassion upon men subject to this sin. But it is this sin that sends most men to hell. St. Remigius says that the greater number of the damned are in hell through this vice. Father Segneri writes that as this vice fills the world with sinners, so it fills hell with damned souls. And before him, St. Bernardine of Siena wrote, quote, this sin draws the whole world, as it were, into sin, close quote. And before him, St. Bernard and St. Isidore said that the human race is brought under the power of the devil more by lust than by all the other vices. This is all being taken again from the sermon on impurity by St. Alphonsus Liguori.